which we should be able to strive to that endeavor. So no, those are very good discussion. I would only add that I think, especially if we have this forum, Dr. Kari, we have kind of used simple words to just be able to get, because our audience may not be able to, may have taken history in the past, such as myself and many other imperialism. I may have to continue to style, oh, what did I learn about this stuff? It kind of brings audience together in a way that everybody can be able to capture what you're trying to say. You can say whatever you want at the same time. Try to soften some of those words for our people so that they can be able to understand. Many, they know just the regular politics and start fighting one or the other, but then go back to the theories of those. That's where that is embedded in, which might be very difficult to get. So, no, I just want to thank you all for the wonderful discussion. Actually, I've been listening, and it's very insightful for me. And I continue to grow and mature in a little bit. Of course, I'm not a political person who's going to argue certain things here and there. I know what I need to argue, but we welcome you in the Business Expo in Dallas, May 2nd through the 4th, please. And even if you are not coming, you want to be able to support the One Voice Consortium, please do so by just purchasing a ticket. But that kind of helps us to pay for the venue in that. So I appreciate the time. Thank you, Dr. Okari, and great job in moderating this. I think you showed this from last year's Expo. You continue to shine in. I believe I have Dr. Shuri here. Maybe you can be able to wrap it up.
Okay, before that, thank you, Jake. We're gonna do that. Let's do this first. Okay. Just give the panelists a chance so that we don't take it off point, so that they make their closing statements. We'll start with the person driving to the Bahamas, and if you could make your closing statement.
I wish I was driving to the Bahamas. I really wish that. So I want to thank Mary. I just found out she just invited me, I think, I am right now. So this has been great. I've learned a tremendous amount. I think I want to conclude by just saying, as people say, you can walk and chew gum at the same time. I think that we have to focus on, for Africa, not necessarily in this order of priority, of either nepotism or loyalty to a particular ethnic group. And also what I was talking about, in the meantime, finding ways to reduce political violence, because political violence is what's caused this tremendous loss of life, which is, we can't control, we can't prevent a drought, but we can prevent all the people who are dying and becoming injured and women getting raped through political violence. So I think we need to do all those things at the same time. And thank you, Professor Okari, Professor Ongaki. It was wonderful meeting you, and I learned a lot. Thank you.
By the way, Andrea, you pronounce those last names very nicely, better than Mary. Thank you, Andrea. Professor Nasongo.
Oh, thank you very much, Dr. Okari. So it has been a pleasure being part of this panel. I like the work that you guys are doing. I support it fully. Let us, those who know better, continue to hold our leaders accountable and push them towards more transparency and better governance. And let us continue to educate our fellow citizens about the importance of the choices we make at the political level, so that we can continue to contribute to the betterment of our societies. So keep up the good work. Thank you very much, and hope all will be well. Thank you, good people.
Okay, thank you, Professor Nasongo. Of course, great work, and I'm sure you're heading to Rwanda shortly here. We wish you very safe travels there, and we'll meet soon in Nairobi. Professor Friedman.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed the discussion. I appreciate the opportunity to have a dialogue on these issues. I would emphasize one thing in closing. The Creator created one human race, not multiple human races, one human race. And therefore, we all have the same common desires for the future of ourselves and all of us in the future of our children. And we all have the same common interest. And we all have the same potential for exercising our creative mind. So we can have many different cultures, we can have many different diversity, which is wonderful and enriches all of us. But we have the same, our brothers and sisters are the same as us in the quality of creativity, regardless of what the color is, what our hair is. Our spiritual potential in each of us is the same. And that is what we must concentrate. And when after the brutal wars in Europe between the Catholics and the Protestants, they had the Treaty of Westphalia in 1648 by the great Cardinal Mazarin of France. And they came out of that conference with a very profound conception. One, we have to practice amnesia of all the crimes we've committed against each other. And two, is the interest of myself is the interest of the other. And the interest of the other is the interest of myself. And I think those two principles are something that we have to promote more and more today.
Yeah, thank you so very much, Professor Freeman. And then the person who made this possible, Mary.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the challenge of name, the ethnical name, which is even if I ask, you know what it is here, they call me Mary EU. So I was telling in a song that if you go to Rwanda, you forget about Mary because people know Uwera. So if at all you are mentioning, you will say Uwera. So those challenges of direct naming, it's always common, but trust me, Ongaki, now it's perfect. I'm excellent. Okari, there is Okari and Ongaki. So
no, that is a C. Andre had an A. You have a C. Keep on though.
Now, in concluding, there are two areas really I would focus on. But first, I would have to appreciate all of you who have managed to be here. Andrea, whom I just reached out at the last minute, she always shows up. I cannot even imagine how much appreciate her, or so much appreciate her on what she does, or especially on the continent, but also what the passion that she has for the people. There is liking a continent, but there is also having the passion for the people of the continent. And these two excellently have the two traits. So on our side, I will say where we are saying that a public sector in as far as promoting pathways for good governance and democracy, Ongaki, they're having an expo in Dallas, and we are urging that everybody, at least tell a friend in Dallas to be there if you cannot be there, because that is one way also of building communities here and at home. Also, on the issue of giving back to the continent or creating an impact while we are waiting for the Marshall Plan and here and there. Remember, tourism is a big thing for the continent. So I think we need to also encourage that. There are various ways you can create an impact. If instead of going to Venice, I've been to Venice for enough, we can this time try to give back also. Let's focus on Africa. But also that goes hand in hand with the issue we are talking about on democracy. Remember, I think Andrea can tell you when she was in Chad, infrastructure sometimes become a challenge. Issues of security become another thing. And remember, when it's an issue of visiting, especially Western communities, there is an issue of safety. So the more a country becomes stable, the better. For example, when you go on the travel alerts, those kind of information which are shared there will determine how many people are going to go to those countries. Hence, another reason why we should really encourage to rate what we have, or encourage our governments to do better, so that we don't lose in various benefits that we would gain, which would come either from economic sector, that are linked to good governance. So on that note, I would thank you for the time. I thank Ongaki for also the opportunity that we moderate this panel here. We are trying to work hard to see if we can get people who are going to be in Dallas. Hopefully we'll get a few people to extend the conversation from here. Dr. Freeman, you are always, you know that you have always a big heart for us, and I have a big heart for you. Dr. Nasongo, always, it's a pleasure to have you. And by the way, Andrea, Dr. Nasongo was my former professor, so I take pride to be here with my mentor on that note. And Jeremiah, all the best in whatever we plan for Africa, and we will always be together in this. I thank you for the opportunity.
Okay, thank you. That's it again. Thank you. I think you tried on that one, but still Andrea did a better job than you. We'll talk about that up. And again, at this point, I think I want to conclude this to thank all of you. I also want to acknowledge the presence of Brendan. Brendan there is the person doing the recording here and the streaming. Is quiet and actually is based in Nairobi. So Brendan on record, thank you so very kindly for what you're doing. And then also down here, you can see we have the Abakusi Radio is also streaming this, and it will be covering the event in Dallas. Is my namesake, Jeremiah. Thank you very kindly. Also, we have here Jane of Buchi, she, kind of my cousin, and she's, by the way, written quite a number of books, translated quite a number of books. Jane, we acknowledge that, including translating Things Fall Apart and many others. Yeah. So hopefully, I think she done incredible work, and hopefully next time, Jane, if you could, we want to have you in this panel. You see your PSI right here, so we'll have to have you there. Also, Richard is down in Dallas. Richard with Granite Cycle is also will be part of the people hosting us in Dallas. Richard, thank you, and of course those on also following this on our social media platforms. Thank you very kind. So to the panelists, thank you so much, Andrea, for taking the time to be with us. Appreciate you. Hopefully we get to see you, more of you in the future. Thank you very much again, Professor Friedman. I have been reading the last few days all your work. Trust me, I want to follow up with you, see how much we can partner. On my other screen here, that it's all about your work. Thank you very kindly for all that you've done. Professor Nasongo, my good friend and brother, thank you. We come a long way, and we of course have a great future. Thank you for what you do, but more importantly, thank you so much for preparing such a good student, Mary, who now leads our team. You can see any professor's work when you see such a product. I am sure you must be very, very proud, just as we are. So Mary as well, thank you for being part of us. And I also have to thank Jake. Jake, thank you very much. Dr. Robert said he's in church, so I'm not sure that he's able to talk. If he's not able to talk, Dr. Sure, is he? So he's in charge, so he should not be able to say. So with that, I think again, thank you very much for the record of this conversation, and we can get into the informal part of it. So at this point, it's safe to say thank you very much, and I would end the recording, then we can go into regular conversation.